afternoon. It's once again 5:30 on a Friday, and this is your host for the next 25 minutes of the most interactive television show in town, Hotline 21. Of course, I'm your host, Congressman Danny Davis, and it's always a pleasure for me to come home and join with you and share what's going on in Washington, District of Columbia. I came home last night. We've had a great week, but I keep saying we have these great weeks because the United States House of Representatives, and I must say so, we have been passing just super bills. I mean, we've been on a roll. I almost have to pinch myself every day when we leave the floor. Before we left yesterday, 2 of my bills got passed in H.R. 3. Great big comprehensive bill. But the 2 provisions in that bill that are mine, I had bills that I had already sponsored that were included in H.R. 3. One was my home visiting bill, which will provide millions and millions, well, actually billions of dollars to do home visiting to help deal with the issue of morbidity and mortality surrounding birth and women, maternal health, women and children. So we're very proud of that. We're also proud that my HPODGE bill, Health Professional Opportunity Grants, that will provide training for individuals who have records in their background, who've been to jail and prison, who can't traditionally get jobs working in healthcare, because in the state of Illinois for a long time, you couldn't work, anybody with a record couldn't work at a hospital. You couldn't even cut the grass at a hospital. And the only way you could get into health was to get approval from the State Department of Public Health. You would get a waiver. We've cooperated with the Safer Foundation and utilizing an approach that Johns Hopkins University out of Baltimore, which is the most given of all the institutions that I know, and have the best record of hiring ex-offenders in healthcare of anybody in the country. So I'm pretty geeked up about that, as you can see. I'm very excited about it because if it gets in the Senate and they pass it, we are talking about billions of dollars for low-income people all over the United States of America to have a chance to learn, to have a skill, to be able to get a job, to help raise their families and be productive members of society. Now that I'm off my soapbox, let me just say, hey, it's good to be here and good to see all of you. And we'll talk about some of those things some more. But I have in the studio with me 2 very important guests, and they are involved in activity with the City Colleges of Chicago, and especially with Wright Junior College, Wright Community College, great college on the, I call it near north, it's kind of north side, but it's also north and west. Sometimes I drive right past it when I'm going off Austin Boulevard. So Wright Junior College have a program that they've developed, and we have the vice president here with us, Miss Alanka Brown, who's going to tell us about that, along with Mr. Billy McFarland. They both work at Wright. I know we've had a caller already, but caller, if you would just hold for a minute and let me get them engaged, and we'll get back to you. So, Ms. Brown, welcome.
Thank you.
And I understand that you haven't been in Chicago forever.
No.
But welcome to Chicago.
Thank you so much.
We're delighted to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So tell us a little bit about yourself as well as about the great work that you're doing over at Wright.
Well, I hail from Florida. I come from the rural North County area of Florida, Tallahassee, Florida, and I've been immersed in education all of my life. And so with that, I took that as to be my calling for my path and my journey in life and being able to help others achieve their dreams. And so with that, I've been on a mission with working at various community colleges to be innovative in the work and to address the needs of communities that are in need and individuals that look like myself that can use assistance with opportunities and skills to be able to take care of themselves and their families. And so that's why I'm here today to talk about an initiative that we at Wright College were fortunate to obtain from the Illinois Community College Board in terms of workforce equity in the state and helping to identify individuals that can use the assistance of free short-term job training programs in the state's most high-demand workforce areas so that they would have the opportunity to have employment in high career areas and earn a livable wage.
Well, Mr. Billy McFarland, you've been here a little bit longer than that.
Born and raised, west side of Chicago. True Chicagoan, yes.
Well, tell us about your role in that.
Well, my particular role in this particular initiative is with the advanced manufacturing piece. To me, that's the pathway with individuals who may have backgrounds, individuals who may have been left behind during their academic careers at CPS. May get an opportunity to make good wages and actually get to the middle class.
Well, you know, I was just looking. We're pretty black, aren't we? If you look,
Yeah.
but we're not a bad-looking group.
Well, she's a model.
Black
right?
people. Yeah, we're pretty black, but that's all right. You know, we used to say during the 60s, I love to meet a man who is proud that he's black. Black's a beautiful color, and that's a fact. But I also like to meet a man who's proud that he's white. Everybody ought to have some color. Just about any one of them is all right. But what I really like to meet is a person who strictly understands that it's not color that makes the person, but it's character that makes the man. And so we're talking about developing skill and character. Mm-hmm. We're talking about training people who need to develop a skill. And in order to qualify, who qualifies for this program?
Well, before we get into qualifications, just want to provide you a little background on the actual initiative. The initiative came about as a means to address the racial inequities that exist among the labor force in the state of Illinois. And as we are aware, the state of Illinois has the highest unemployment rate among African Americans in the United States based on population. That creates large disparities in the labor force makeup and overall economic opportunities for African Americans who are residents of the state of Illinois. And this disparity also creates issues and barriers for African Americans to be able to take care of themselves and their families. So with that, our program was designed as a means to help increase African Americans with employment, and not just any old job, but actually high demand career areas for where in which they can command high wages and salaries. And so with that, Wright decided to write for the grant that the Illinois Community College Board was offering to be able to provide assistance in being a part of the solution in regards to increasing the amount of African Americans that can contribute overall to the economy, to the Illinois economy. And so with that, we decided to develop programming in advanced manufacturing, information technology, and also in public safety. With advanced manufacturing, you have two programs for which participants can decide to go into, and that is CNC, manufacturing and machining, also automated screw machine. For public safety, you can go into criminal justice, And for information technology, you have the option of networking, web development, and cybersecurity. All of these programs lead to a basic college certificate credential, which is college credit that you can use towards the next level of college credential, which is the advanced certificate or the full associate's degree. Also, they lead to industry certifications, which make you more marketable for employment. And with the Wright JobHire Initiative, we obtained $1 million to be able to pay for all of that. We're covering tuition, we're covering textbooks and materials, we're covering the cost of transportation, and also we're covering the fees associated with the industry certification exams that you would take that apply to the program you select, and reimbursement for childcare if it's necessary. So with the program, we decided to serve 118 individuals who reside in the Austin community. And you may ask, why did we select Austin? We selected Austin because we know that Austin is one of the most disenfranchised communities in Chicago. And also, we know that Austin has a very large African American population, and it has a very large high rate of unemployment, poverty, and incarceration. These are requirements for which the grant wanted us to seek out in terms of being able to serve. And so with that, we selected to serve to go with Austin because, one, Wilbur Wright College is in the northwest area of Chicago, and our Humboldt Park satellite location is in close vicinity to the Austin community. We are partners of the Austin community. We're friends of the Austin community. We have students at both our Humboldt Park and Wright main campus that are residents of the Austin community. And we feel as if you're friends and you're partners, you should leverage what you have in order to make each other better. So with that, in order to qualify for this program, you have to be a resident of the Austin community. You have to have a high school diploma or its equivalent, a GED. Age between the ages of 18 and 45, low income, unemployed, or underemployed. That's it. Those are the qualifications. And if you can meet that, I would strongly suggest you contact Wright College at either one of our contact mechanisms. Our phone number is 773-481-8089. And we also have a dedicated email address for which you can contact us as well. And it's wrightjobhire@ccc.edu. And that's spelled out as WRJOBHIRE@ccc.edu.
It sounds like J-O-B, job, is somewhere in that.
It's built in.
It's built in. It's one of the main outcomes that the Illinois Community College Board is looking for people that have been awarded to grant to fulfill. So not only are we providing the training, we're also providing career planning and job placement assistance. That's one of the areas for which we will be looked at very heavily by the state. We're not just training, but we're also making sure that we can get you employed as well.
Billy, let me ask you,
Yes.
advanced manufacturing, what does that really mean? What are we saying?
Anything we use has to be made. So the different processes, whether it's with plastics, whether it's with metals, composites, there's a process to create all the things that we use. Our specialty, or what we focus on, is called computer numeric controls. It's basically telling the telling the machine what to do on 3, 4, and 5 different axes.
So say if a person came through, got involved with the program, completed it, and now it's time to go out and look for a job or to go and get a job, where would they go? What would they now do? Or does the program help them secure employment?
We do. We actually have employers, prior to students getting out the program, some of the students are hired. So there's an intense effort to get students out in the workforce. You know, one of the barriers is a lot of the manufacturing jobs are in the suburbs. That's one of the hurdles, and we're working on that. And you guys have some programs that we make and infuse into what we do. But a lot of individuals find jobs. Employers call us. We don't call employers.
Well, I hope that somebody can come right down the alley from where I live every day and recruit some of my neighbors and some of my neighbors' children and some of my friends, individuals who are there You know, the stats are so terrible when you look at them.
Yes.
Between the ages of 18 and 24, half the African American males in Chicago almost don't have a job. They're not in school. They're not involved in any kind of programs. They're just kind of drifting a little bit with the wind. As a resident of the Austin community, I am super, super, super excited about this program and what it is going to do to try and help reduce the situation that we've talked about and give hope to those individuals who just don't know what to do. Let me just say to our viewers, we're going to open up the phone. Our number is 312-738-1060. And now you can give us a call and engage with us. I mean, this has been such a tremendous day for me. I mean, I started out this morning with the hour of code at Google, and we had a young fellow there, 15 years old, who's teaching other kids how to code. We had about 500 children there. And then I also had a chance to sit between Jesse Jackson and J.B. Pritzker, that is the governor of Illinois, and Reverend Jackson, who can't be defined in terms of what he has contributed and what he's done. But then I left there and went to a press conference at the Board of Education where Senator Durbin and I and Representative Roger Krishnamurti, as well as the superintendent of schools for the city of Chicago, talked with kids about vaping, about smoking e-cigarettes, and about inhaling nicotine in whatever way they decide to do it. And also with us was the president of the student government, delightful young lady who got a message across to her peers, and also the mother of a child who had had some experiences that we're trying to get other kids not to deal with. And so it's just been a tremendous day. If a person, oftentimes people who listen to things and hear information and all are not the ones who need it. I'm saying people who can use it most effectively are not necessarily getting it. So if somebody's got a grandchild or a son or daughter, whatever, please tell them about this opportunity.
Yes.
I think we've got a caller, and so let's go to the phone. Caller, are you there?
Good evening, Dr. Davis, U.S. Representative, 7th District. Vice President Brown, you should be pretty proud of that campus where you're at. It was built back in 1995. You asked me, it's better laid out than Malcolm X. And there's a few facts about that campus. One, it's one of the campuses where you feel the most welcome because they don't have those turnstiles. And the other thing about it, I do believe they have more students there on that campus that wind up going to a four-year institution. And I've had family members that went to Chicago State and may have took a class or two at Wright, and they said the way things is organized, it is organized better than Chicago State. Before you go to any other city college, please go to Wright and walk around and look. It's a totally, totally different atmosphere altogether. It feels much more like a small university around there in terms of the resource and where everything is laid out. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, I'll be. We got a Wright fan here.
Thank you so very much.
Is that a family member?
Yes.
Well, he's gone, but let me
He's
tell
gone.
you, he knows a lot about a lot of things.
He does. And he's
I
right.
didn't know he knew that much about Wright, but right on. We
Those
say
are-
right.
Those are some accolades that we get at Wright College. It's a home away from home. It is set up as to be an institution that's very welcoming for any and all individuals regardless of background, and we're here to help educate and get you to your goals.
Well, let's see if we got another call. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, how you doing, Connie David?
I'm
Okay, I
good,
was
James. How are you?
Okay, I was going to ask you again. Job is fine, and other people, job is fine. But every time when somebody gets murdered on their job, and they don't end up in a wheelchair, and the people in the media always say people getting murdered, be in the wheelchair when they get shot. That's not true. And jobs ain't safe. And okay, when your government says job is fine, and how can they protect the people who be working for them and stuff? Jobs ain't fine. I mean, job is fine, but sometimes jobs ain't safe to work.
Well,
And then some people in the media always talk about people making money. That's not true. And some people don't end up in a wheelchair when they get shot.
well, James, I think you're absolutely right, but let me ask our guests, would they also suggest that people who have jobs are less likely to end up shooting anybody or doing something to other people that would be harmful to them?
Well, studies show that people with jobs have more to lose because that helps to secure your ability to have a meaningful life. And so with that, who wants to lose, the ability to have a market value job and a living wage, having that something to lose, being a part of the American dream. So there are studies that show that the more employed an individual is and the higher they are in employment, the less likely they are to be involved in those types of situations.
So if you've got something that you want to hold on to, something to lose, the likelihood of being engaged in negative behavior decreases. So from that vantage point, a job is a good thing to have. I think we've got another call. Caller, are you there? Maybe that caller zipped on away. But, just having a job. I remember a song that I used to hear that said, every morning about this time, she bring my breakfast to the bed crying, get a job, get a job. Says, when I read the paper, I read it through and through, trying to find out if there's any work for me to do. Get a job, get a job. Work is love made visible. Because when you work, you bind yourself to whatever that occupation is, to what you do. You never want to give it up. I mean, if I didn't work, I'd be bored to death. I mean, I'd just be totally out of it. Some days I can hardly wait to wake up so that I can get back to doing what I'm doing, knowing that I can help create. And we want people, especially in the Austin area, to make use of this program. We want you, if you're there wondering if there's anything for you to do, give Wright College a call and let them know that you want to be one of their first recruits. You want to get in at the ground floor. You really want to do it. So could each one of you take about a minute and wrap up for us?
Well, the most important thing is, when does the program start? Our program begins January 17th, 2020, so you have more than enough time to make contact with us to get you registered in the program of your choice. The program ends on July 25th, 2020, and on July 31st, 2020, we will have a JobHire job fair, in which we'll be inviting employers throughout the state to come and have those discussions and conversations with participants of the JobHire project in terms of getting you employed. So if you're there, if you're listening, if you have family, friends, anyone that you know that can basically benefit from this opportunity, I would suggest that you let them know. And we will start up on January 17th, 2020. We have some information registration sessions that will be happening at our Humboldt Park campus and also at our main campus. And the dates for those at our Humboldt Park campus, which is located at 1645 North California Avenue, those dates are December 20th, January 3rd, January 10th, and January 16th, to where in which there will be people, employees of Wright College on staff to help provide you with advisement and placement into the job training program of your choice. Also at the main campus, we will have walk-ins registration from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, starting as soon as Monday. So if you're anywhere in the neighborhood, please stop by Wright College's main campus, and we will be there to help you to get you registered. And the hours for the information registration sessions that I just provided you dates for the Humboldt Park location is from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on those specific dates.
All right, our time is gone. You know, we look so good. Crystal, could you come in and take our photograph before we leave? But let us just end by taking advantage of all this information
Yes.
that we've been provided. And remember this, if a task is once begun, never leave till it's done. Be the labor great or small, do it well or not at all. Thank you both, and we'll
Thank you.
see you next week.